And the sort of flagship verses on how God does this are John 4:23 and 24. That's about the Spirit, running your life. And then John 14:26, which is the Spirit recalling Bible to your mind. Now, when he does that, he's recalling the Bible to your mind so that you can associate the experience you're having with the Bible, and ideally you're asking him for that. Okay, Dad, I'm stuck in traffic. What value is there to you? None. The traffic itself. Okay, so what can I learn about your son as a result of being stuck in traffic? What kind of lesson is there in this? And there's going to be a lot of lessons, okay? But there's going to be, like, the main purpose is to depict something about Christ, either his patience or how the small thing that you're going through is no hindrance, okay? A lot of lessons, and you just keep on asking God what they are. Now, when he does this John 14:26 recall Bible, he's going to take Bible whatever you know the way you know it. And he's gonna bring it to your mind to show you how it applies to the situation. But you got to keep using 1 John 1:9 or you're not online with Christ. And I mean with God, all three of them. And you're going to have to keep asking for it, because he's not going to do something to you you're not asking him to do. When he does this, he's going to bring parts of the Bible, at least this is how he does it with me, and I know he does it with some other people the same way. He's going to take phrases in different parts of the Bible, and with me, he does it sometimes in English, he does it sometimes in Spanish, he does it sometimes in French, he does it sometimes in the Hebrew or the Greek or, Italian or, it's really weird the way he does it. Sometimes he also takes things that my pastor said sometimes is, 20, 30 years ago, which I only heard once. And then he links that with other parts of the Bible to show, it's like addition and subtraction. It's very much like math. He just links them all up together and it forms a concept. All right? And it's usually many concepts at once, like spokes in a wheel. All right? He'll do that to you too, as you're learning and living on Bible. And maybe if you don't know enough Bible, what he'll do is he'll link ideas. He'll bring ideas to your mind, but you got to keep asking. And when he does that, these ideas are going to have these 5P characteristics. Okay, always. And every word in Scripture has these 5P characteristics if you look for them. All right? And he's going to be highlighting paradox. He's going to show his punctiliarity. He's going to be punning. Okay, he's going to be playful. He's going to be politically incorrect, especially that. Okay, to show you how, the man's ideas don't matter. Man's all full of himself. Okay. And then he does this also with your circumstances. Now, the atheist is always saying, how do you know God exists? And I tried to make a couple of videos explaining to the atheist that, you know what, you just got to look up at the ceiling and say, God, I need proof of you. Because the way God reveals the way God reveals himself is in a very personal, intimate manner. All right? He's it's the still small voice. It's not we expect it to be like, clashing armies and a blimp in the sky and all this other kind of crap. Okay, that's not how God works. He is very much, because he's infinite, he's very intimate. He's in everything by choice. We saw that in the earlier parts. God's attributes are what God wills them to be. All right? That's what theology has gotten wrong all this time. Theology has always described God's attributes as somehow objectively external to God. All right? And therefore God is constrained by them. No, it's the other way around. God wills his attributes. He doesn't have to sustain himself. He chooses to be the way he is. He chooses it. All right? So he also chooses to be very intimate with you, and of course, you aren't necessarily aware of that. but you could be. And that's what I'm saying. Constantly ask him, okay, what am I learning? What do you want me to see? And what he'll do with your circumstances, and it's always it's got these 5 characteristics. He knows what you're thinking. He knows what you like. He knows what you don't like. He knows why you like it. And he'll combine things in your life deliberately. And it's like a big, hi, I'm here. See, I know you. I'm aware of you. I'm right here. And he's constantly doing that. And I'm going to give you some examples from my own life because I don't have the database of your life to work with. So when you hear me talk about my own, try to find parallels in your own, because he's always doing this. In my own life, I have certain quirks. Okay, everybody does. These are mine. One of the things about me is I hate shopping. I absolutely hate it. I walk into a store and immediately my eyes glaze over. You know, if I were buying potato chips, and I'm not a potato chip person, but pretend I were, and I walk down the aisle, there are 30 different kinds of potato chips, and the minute I've looked at 2 boxes, I have no idea what to buy. All right? So if I walk into the soup aisle, I love soup. There's 14 different brands of soup. You know, I'm the classic, you know, that commercial where it says decaf or regular. I don't know. That's me. Okay? So I hate shopping. Okay? It's such a small little thing. All right? And I just can't stand it. The other quirk about me is that I have to have 2 of everything. All right? Because in my life, everything goes wrong, especially if it's electronic or computer. I don't care what I do, what backups I make, whatever, arrangements I make to try to defend against the problem will exist. So I always have to have 2 of everything because one's always breaking down. That's why I have 14 computers, not even just 2. And so those are 2 quirks about me that are important to what I'm going to say next. God, of course, knows that I have those quirks. So, for example, when I moved to the place I'm in now, one of the things is that I now have a patio. And the first thing I thought was, oh, God, I have to go buy a patio chair. I can't just, sit on the concrete out there. And I was like, oh, where am I going to find a chair I like, blah, 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 because it's deer in the headlights with me when I have to go shopping. So one thing he did, which he's been doing to me for 20 years, is I go out to the dumpster to throw out my trash, and there are 2 green, the color I wanted, 2 green lawn chairs that somebody had thrown out. 2, not 1. Remember, I have to have 2 of everything because one always breaks. And I just had to smile. He's telling me, you see, I knew you wanted 2 chairs, okay? And obviously I picked up the 2 chairs and I put them on the patio. Now he's been doing this with everything, okay? The stuff that you see in the background now, trying to figure out, most of it that you see I bought because when I moved from Chicago I got rid of the stuff that I had. But over the last 20 years, the stuff that I've had mostly came from the dumpster. It came from the dumpster because I had a computer that was starting to go out, so I went down to my car, the dumpster was by my car, and there's another computer, or a credenza, or a couch, or a television. And they all worked. They were all exactly what I needed. He's been doing that to me for 20 years. My very first Windows computer I got that way. I was using Web TV. I tell the story in the Luigi video. I was using Web TV, and in those days you had to be online to use Web TV, and it was costing me $1,000 a month to write web pages, which I was just starting at that time. That was in 1999. And so I was thinking quitting because that's too expensive, And it never dawned on me to buy a Windows computer because I hate Windows. I've always hated Windows from the first time it came out. It's a very bad architecture. Very bad software. Always has been. And so I was on my way out to the dumpster, and there was this janitor who 2 weeks prior found the computer, and it just got into his head he had to save it for me. The janitor's name was Jesus, okay?